My wonderful, beautiful Taurus. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For this week, we're going to be doing the second Macabre Tarot, so I have the little booklet right here. So anyway, if you even get a chance to watch one of your previous, or actually the previous first Macabre Tarot reading, I have the veil actually covered over, but now I actually took it off because I wanted to show face a little bit more. And as you can see, my hair looks a little bit darker than before because I guess, with the moon and the new moon and stuff like that, and that may have had some kind of impact and stuff like that, but I thought it would be fun just to kind of show face and stuff. But anyway, so if you get a chance, it's like I'm going to be reading 4 questions because like the previous one was 5 card spread. Now for this week it's going to be 4 cards, and so I'm going to be reading the questions and I'll draw the cards to see how they resonate with you in any way and stuff like that. So but anyway, on the little picture thumbnail, whatever, because I have thumbnails personally, but you'll see how the cards are laid out. So but anyway, we'll get started with question number 1. Where are you currently? My goodness, you get 4 of daggers, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra energy. So what I'm kind of getting here is in a position, you're currently in a position of need of rest and recovery. Because sleep is important for health reasons, for recovery, for healing, and maybe just to have some personal you time in other ways as well. Because, it's like us vampires also need our sleep because, we pretty much also lose a lot of energy. I mean, I must say that some of these fictional stories are actually quite accurate from at least, based off of my experience. I mean, too bad the vampire that turned me, never gave me any kind of guidance regarding that. So it's mostly that I'm, just living by experience in many ways. But the 4 of daggers is that you're in a position that you need to rest up, you need to recover, and you're healing. Hopefully not in an infirmary, setting in other ways, but that's kind of what, the first card has is that, when you're pretty much, you need to, rest up. You need to rest up. There's just no, a way around it. If you feel like, oh goodness, I just need to just close my eyes, or I need to just kind of lean back, or just kind of just rest up. You need to. That's just how your body, is just kind of saying, hey, we need to actually, rest up and heal, right? So, because then we get to question number 2. What is giving you a false sense of safety? Okay. 10 of daggers, also known as 10 of swords. So what I'm actually seeing here is, it's like painful ending. Why would a painful ending give you a sense of false security or false sense of safety? Because the thing is, it's like with any kind of painful ending, I mean, in that aspect, hopefully nobody passed away in your environment and stuff like that. In that aspect, my 100% sincerest condolences. I will actually be posting, different types of videos of healing, or even in the sense of, you could always reach out for, if you're in need of, support in other ways, because I'm going to be actually having some support videos based off of my own experience, right, from what a lot of humans have done and stuff like that. I mean, I kind of try to incorporate the human's perspective. I mean, in my perspective, yes, it's like I know how painful it must have been for my family to have lost their sister or their daughter, right? So, but anyway, it's like any kind of painful ending. But the thing is, it's like retirement could also be considered a painful ending if you loved your job and career, and suddenly you are sent off and saying, okay, it's like you're done, good luck out, enjoy the rest of your freedom, right? And then you just think, but I love my job so much. It's not really giving me it's not giving me a sense of like everything's going to be okay. No, as a matter of fact, I just feel like thinking, goodness, it's like now instead of getting my full, paycheck, I'm just getting like practically half a pension, right? So, but it could also kind of give you this false sense if you feel like, well, that you've completed something and you just think, oh goodness, where do we go from here, right? That could also kind of give you a false sense of safety for any kind of painful ending. Because then we get to number 3. What shadow is dwelling just beyond those feelings of safety? Ace of Crystals, also known as Ace of Pentacles. So what this is all about is, it's like maybe, I wonder if you feel like any kind of skepticism about job offerings, for example. And the thing is, it's like, let's say that you just graduated high school, college, or you took like, what are those, sabbaticals or something? I have no idea what half of those terms are all about. I just only came across them just recently in some literature. But, And well, do you feel skeptical about any kind of job offerings, and you pretty much just think, okay, it's like your advisor or counselors out in this world, just said, oh yeah, the world is filled with opportunity. The world is your oyster. A very encouraging and beautiful words to hear, but is that a realistic, phrase to be bringing forth, right? Because the thing is, it's like there is a saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. We'll see what you can try to, get out of that kind of context, because as much as you pretty much just think, well, it's like a lot of humans, they have good intentions, it's like even, let's say that somebody, within, your close, friend circle, or hopefully not family member, the point is, I mean, of course, hopefully not friends either, but the point is, a lot of humans, they'll just say like these basic things like it's for the best, or no longer, they're blah, blah, blah. And then, that's actually the last thing you probably want to hear is just like these good intentions, thrown at you, even though the whole, the main thing you actually want to hear mostly is to say, I'm here for you. And sometimes just even sitting next to one another, just in a quiet setting, is practically the best healing that you could offer, and not always feel like you have to be obliged to be talking, right? Or to be expressing any kind of, comforting words, Because then we get to the fourth one. How can you reach that shadow? Ooh, death. Scorpio energy is through, rebirthing. By changing your mindset, your perceptions. Because the thing is if you pretty much just think, you feel incredibly, skeptical about job offerings, like any person, any kind of offerings out in this world, and you pretty much just think, you know what am I doing? It's like half the time, and this is actually based off of the human's experience himself, is, it's like when he graduated college, he even said he took a year off, just to kind of travel a bit, how he even, managed, I don't know if he even had a career or something back then. But the thing is, it's like, it's by changing your mindset. And that's with anything, if you pretty much just feel, skeptical about anything, about thinking, well, I just really have no kind of faith, I really don't believe in this and stuff like that. Well, the thing is, it's 100% your prerogative, it's 100% your true feelings, but that's not really going to be benefiting you, especially if you are being offered, any kind of jobs and careers and stuff like that. So, but anyway, that is at least what today or this week's message has for Taurus and Taurus placements out in this world. So anyway, I know it's a little bit shorter than usual, but that's what the 4-card spread has for you all out in this world. If it resonated, please feel free to join and subscribe to the channel. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. Love you guys incredibly. And so next week we're going to be trying out this new, actually, speaking of the death, the rebirthing L6-card spread, so please feel free to stay tuned for that. But other than that, I love you guys, and as per usual, take excellent good care of yourselves.